This is Professor Homa, and we're going to review bulleted lists. They're fairly easy, but I just want to go over what we did in class with this formatting exercise. As long as I did everything else, I might as well do these really quick with the same document that I have open. So I'm going to go over creating a bulleted list and also editing it, so you don't just use what is used by default. And in terms of bulleted list, I have 4 paragraphs here in our document that are meant to be a bulleted list. And you could just go up here right in your ribbon to the paragraph area of your home tab and just click bullets, and they'll apply bullets. Now it just uses a standard indent, standard spacing. So what it actually does by default is it puts a 1/4 inch left indent, which moves your bullet over a 1/4 inch, and it uses a 1/4 inch hanging indent, which it kind of puts a tab in there. It tabs your space over a 1/4 inch, but then it also, when your text wraps, it wraps so it aligns underneath the first line, not underneath your bullet. So that's where the hanging indent. If you look up here, you can actually see the icons. These icons are showing your left indent, and then they're also showing the hanging indent. And this would be reversed if you had a first line indent. If I go up to this paragraph, I can see it's reversed. The first arrow is moved in a 1/2 inch. The other ones are back at the margin. So that's a first line indent, and in these paragraphs, this is what a hanging indent looks like up here in your ruler. But we'll take a look at it numerically. I'm going to highlight all these paragraphs that we just did. I'll go into my paragraph dialog box launcher, and I'll just see that I have a left indent of 0.25, I have a hanging indent of 0.25, and I could change that if I wanted. And I could change other things. If I wanted to give a space before 12 point to each of these paragraphs, I could do that right in here. If I wanted to move in my indent to 1/2 inch, I can do that. If I wanted to change the distance from my bullet to my where my text starts, I can do that here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it alone. But I am going to make a right indent of 1/2 inch so that it brings in this right side text is going to come in a 1/2 inch from the margin too. So it should kind of align up at like 6.5 inches. So I'm going to set that to 5 inches. So I have a left and right indent and a hanging indent, and when I hit OK, you can see that now that this came in a 1/2 inch. Here's my 1/4 inch, and here's my 1/2 inch, or yeah, my 1/2 inch right indent on the right side of my margin. So you can edit these, you can customize these all you want, and then you can save that as a style. If you wanted to save it as a style, you could just click in this paragraph, and I could go to my style sheet just to review styles a little bit, hit my new style button, and I'll call it bulleted list, and I'll give it an RH so I know that's the custom one I just made right now, and I spelled bulleted wrong, so I could go in there and edit that, and I'll hit OK. And now these other ones don't have it applied, so I want to make sure I apply my bulleted list to all of these. Now if you go in here and I put the wrong style in. Here's the nice thing about styles. I now unformatted my bullet because I clicked on the wrong style. Now that since I made a style for bulleted list, it's very easy to fix. So anything you go in here, if I made that bulleted list and accidentally gave it a bullet, I could just go back and put it back in body copy. This is in bulleted list. It's a really great, styles are a great way to control your formatting, so you don't have to do a lot of extra work, and especially if you had a long document. It's really a nice way to kind of keep things together. So that's a bulleted list. There's other way you can actually change these so they have numbers and all that. I'll go over that later, but I just wanted to review what we did in our document and also a little review of styles that we just did there.